Hello, welcome back to Unduck Your Privacy, a series where I will be teaching you the basics of privacy hygiene, right? And in the last two episodes, we discussed basic concepts of privacy that would help you understand the upcoming series better. I taught you about three kinds of shields and how they vary depending on who the threat actor is. We are going to, in this episode, talk about human as a threat actor, right? And the reason why we are distinguishing between these threat actors has been explained in the previous episode. I'll link all of the episodes in the description below, right? So, let's begin. Why individual privacy as a subject is very complicated is because there is no set pattern, right? So privacy looks very different for a student in school versus somebody who's a student in college versus a working professional, right? When you are in college, when you are in school, the level of privacy you require, let's just say from your guardians or parents, is low because it's assumed that your parents and your guardians are your well-wishers. In college, however, the same space that you're sharing intimately with other people may not be with people who want what is best for you, right? People who are in densely packed spaces, right? Schools, colleges, and there are spaces obviously in these areas where you wouldn't want any kind of filming to happen, right? So we're talking about physical privacy first. So there are a lot of ways a small camera can be snuck into these spaces, right? And it's horrible that we have to do this. We have to be vigilant about this. But you should have the tools. You should know how to do this as and when required, right? Now, why am I talking about cameras is because wearable tech is just the new thing, right? And that means a lot of people have access to cameras and microphones that you just don't know are there. Right now, if I were to start talking to you and I start doing this, you know you are being filmed. You have the opportunity to consent or say that you don't consent to it, right? But if I were wearing a pair of glasses and I did not tell you what they were, there's a good chance I would be able to film you without your consent. And this was a problem that actually came into place from the moment portable cameras were invented. There were a lot of laws made in this spirit to prevent people from capturing other people's intimate moments without consent. But today, if we were to even make laws like that, it won't be useful. It's just way too convenient now. It would be very difficult to apply. So there is a lot of technology available to detect wearable cameras and wearable microphones. Yes, this technology needs to improve, but we as people will have to start prioritizing and funding tech that allows us to do that in the first place. So the apps that I have been looking at, there was one app that I distinctly remember. It was called Nearby Glasses, and the whole purpose of that app was to detect smart glasses around them, right? Because although there are physical ways to figure out if something are smart glasses, like I earlier said, you can see if someone's wearing thicker frames or they have a light on their glasses when light is shined on them, right? Does the camera sparkle? That's not the most convenient thing to do. You cannot see someone filming someone else in the metro and then decide to take out a torch and shine a light at them, right? And while it's the same principle applies to an app. Like if I was outside in a metro or in a public space and I saw a man wearing these glasses, I don't think I would be able to go and ask him to take them off. But what I will be able to do is get out of his peripheral vision, just get out of his vision in general, and just let women around me know that, hey, I think this guy is wearing smart glasses. I don't know if they're on, but I think it would be a good idea to stay away from him. That's something that is important. It's important to be able to recognize those signs. Now talking about things that we are taught about privacy that are not exactly correct for all Indian or South Asian households. we are taught to have passwords on our phone, right? But the thing is, in India, kids tend to get a smartphone relatively early, and parents don't let them put passwords on there, right? Because parents want some level of oversight over who the child is interacting with, which I believe is important. But when that child grows up, they need to level up. And by that, I just don't mean phone passwords, because understand that the way you unlock your phone really matters. It really, really matters, because that will determine who actually can have access to your phone. A lot of people believe that fingerprint sensors are safer than like numeric passwords, because numeric passwords are things that if someone sees, they'll have immediate access to your phone, right? But understand that very rarely now in phones you only have biometric access. It's usually either biometric or numeric keypad, which we keep both on, right? Which means that at home, this particular setup is fine. But the moment I move to my hostel, it may not be, because people can just use my fingerprint to get my phone to open. If tomorrow I am sleeping and my roommate picks up my phone and just touches it to my finger, my phone is on for her. And I feel really bad for people who use their fingerprints for like transactions. Don't enable that shit. You're literally allowing people to make transactions on your behalf in your sleep. That shit is not safe, no matter how it's marketed to you. Okay, so your environment matters a lot. When you see any new privacy feature, you need to ask yourself, does it work in the environment I am in? Just don't believe things people say just because they say it. So what is a good fix to this situation, right? A good fix to this situation would be that, okay, I have a lock screen on my phone, but on the sensitive apps, I have a different password, right? A lot of bank apps have a separate PIN, but I know a lot of people whose like lock screen PIN and that PIN is exactly the same, which again, this is hygiene. Do not clean your table with the same brush with which you clean the bathroom. Okay, stupid example, but you get what I mean. Anything that is important to you needs to have a different password. And I get that people believe that that's a lot of work, but soon enough you'll realize that becomes second nature to you. Now talking about local storage versus cloud storage. Most of us know that whatever you don't want other people to see, right, should ideally not be backed up into your cloud. If you don't know this, please, 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 please. If you have anything that is private, that is important to you, that other people should ideally not see, do not back that shit up into the cloud, okay? And this is where the dilemma happens, in the sense of, who are you trying to protect this stuff from? Are you trying to protect yourself from people who are in the same house as you? Are you trying to protect it from someone who is out there and trying to gain access to your data, like from a distance, and they don't have physical access to you? That becomes very, very important. Either way, if you have documents on your phone, right, or anything important, I am not going to go into details. You do you. Whatever you don't want other people seeing should not be on your phone. It should ideally be in an SD card. Now this SD card can be connected to your phone, right? You can just make sure everything is going into that SD card, because you can still protect that SD card. You can ensure physical security for that SD card. You do not have the capacity, and sometimes not the funds, to ensure that something is safe on the cloud. So that's my 2 cents on that. Have an SD card. Now, in addition to that, there's a myth that people believe in, that if the camera on my laptop, right, if its light is not on, the camera is not on. And ideally that is true. Ideally that is what the scenario should be. but there'll be multiple instances that will make you believe that it's very easy to trick that system, right? It's very easy to bypass that system. And we are living in an era where our phones and our devices are with us at all times, mostly for safety reasons. Like, most women I know will not go to the bathroom without their phone, especially when they're outside somewhere, right? So if you think that your devices could be tinkered with by someone, and this could happen when you're giving it for repair, if you've left it alone for too long, these things can happen, okay? You need to have physical measures to ensure that at least the camera is not accessible unless you want it accessed. And how do you do that? You can have physical switch covers. I will show you a picture of them through Amazon. What are these? These are like small little covers that work in a switch format that go here, and for your laptop they would go right there. So when you want to use the camera, you turn the switch on, physically it can see you, and when you don't want to use it, you turn it off. The camera is blocked. People don't have access to it anymore. Even if that camera was on, obviously it's like closing your eyes, right? Hi. The scene changed a little bit because I realized that the video was getting really long. So this video is now being made into two parts, and this is the ending to this particular part. The point of this entire video is that you have to make a lot of things manual to be able to ensure your privacy. A lot of it is hardware related. So a summary would be: one, your storage systems should be hardware as much as they can be, especially for sensitive things. It doesn't have to be like that for everything, but for sensitive things, it's good to have storage in the form of hardware. Secondly, tools and things like the webcam cover, a privacy guard, will always ensure that you are covering most bases hardware wise. There is an endless spiral you can go on once you deep dive into the subject, but this is something like everyone can do. Everyone can do, and I think everyone should do. If you've liked this video, please click on the notification bell because the next episode will be out next week. And with this, have a nice day.